When people think of heated derbies and rivalries, the last place that comes to mind is Sweden. Whilst it has recognition for their international side and players, the Allsvenskan does not get a lot of mainstream coverage internationally. Last weekend, however, there was one fixture that flew under the radar of many viewers, this being Hammarby vs Malmo, a complex yet heated rivalry. To learn more, I travelled to Stockholm, the capital city of Sweden and the home of Hammarby, in which I was given a very warm introduction.
Finished.
All jokes aside, Stockholm is a very warm and welcoming city. From what I'm aware of, they do not condone the actions of the IRA. The origins of this rivalry stems from the actual cities due to the Northern War back in the mid-1600s. This saw the newly formed Swedish Empire take control of many areas in Denmark-Norway, one of which being the Skåne region where Malmo is located. Malmo is the third largest city in Sweden, which had a huge reliance on industrialism. However, they struggled to adapt to the modern world, and in the early 90s, the local economy collapsed, resulting in Malmo having the highest unemployment rate in Sweden. And despite having good growth over the last 20 years, the city is still plagued by high unemployment levels. Stockholm, however, is the richest area of Sweden by both GDP and GDP per capita, and amongst the 10 wealthiest regions in the European Union by the same metrics. This creates a huge class divide between the cities, which often gets mocked by locals on both sides and heats up the hatred. Hammarby were formed in 1915 in the Södermalm district of Stockholm, once a working class area of the city which has now been gentrified. Because of this, Hammarby are often regarded as a club for the working class, with the majority of the Bayern sharing left-wing political views, contradictory to their city rivals AIK and Djurgården. This is similar to Malmo, a working class city whose largest fan group is left-leaning, describing themselves as working against violence and racism. This makes an interesting question. Out of all the clubs in the city that they despise with contrasting political views, why is it Hammarby they hate? I'd spoken to some of the Hammarby fans to understand their side of the rivalry. Apologies about my pronunciation, by the way, I was a few beers deep.
Alright, so we've met these fans at this pub, Hammarby supporters. There we are, chin chin. What are you drinking?
The real rivalry is between Djurgården and AIK.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because all three of the teams are in Stockholm. So it's pretty natural for it to be a rivalry. For example, if you look at Liverpool and United, that's a really big rivalry, and also City. Because they are they're very close to each other.
Yeah.
It's the same thing between AIK and Djurgården. With Malmo, it's more that it's a top team.
Okay.
So it's like the big six in the Premier League.
Yes, So it's based on success.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's not like the Stockholm's derbies, of course.
Yes.
The Stockholm's derbies are, of course, in higher stakes because there's a Stockholm rivalry and there's Malmo. It's not the same thing, but of course it's a big game.
Yeah.
Because Malmo is a big town, Stockholm is a big town, just as Gothenburg.
Yes. Okay, so it's just like a rivalry of success sort of thing.
Sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think with this rivalry, it's more hatred from Malmo fans onto Hammarby, or?
Probably, but just because Skåne doesn't like Stockholm.
Yeah. So it's like a history of like hatred between the cities.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's probably.
So I think the thing with Malmo back in the day when they played in the old stadium was that they had a banner basically describing three of our icons in the club. It was a hockey player, and a fan, and a football player. And the banner was basically there are Hammarby supporters, they are alcoholics, and they are dead. So it was like bad banter. So there's been a bit of bad thing going on there, and then it's been spiraling, going up and down. But we were out of the top division for 5 seasons as well, so we had a bit of break from them. But I think it's a big game, It's a big game.
So, the Bayern are fairly relaxed about Malmo, and they see both AIK and Djurgården as their main rivals. From the people I've spoken to, this fixture is purely based on the size of the clubs. Whilst Hammarby might not be the most successful club in Sweden, They are considered a big club who are ambitious and are a consistent figure in the Allsvenskan with a huge loyal fan base, consistently turning out some of the highest attendances in the league. Malmo, on the other hand, are the most successful. And with 27 league titles and 16 Svenska Cups, it is very hard to rival. They feel as if the hatred is from De Blåa, which could be because of the actions of just one individual. Zlatan Ibrahimovic was a Malmo legend. A native to the city, Zlatan rose up the youth ranks before playing for the first team, going on to become Sweden's best ever player and one of the greatest strikers of his generation. Zlatan was often memed online for calling himself a god, but in Malmo, he was one. That all changed, however, in 2019, when it was announced that Zlatan had bought a 23.5% stake in Hammarby, expressing his admiration for the club and its fans, calling them one of the most interesting and influential clubs in Sweden. De Blåa were infuriated. Having already seen Hammarby as a rival, they felt betrayed by one of their own. Their response saw Zlatan's statue heavily vandalised and then burned, also destroying any memorabilia they had of the man they once called king. This is seen as a major spark-up of the rivalry. So, what does this fixture mean to the fans in the moment? Was all the calmness a bluff? How did the players react? I went to the game to find out.
Game's kicked off, and already the flares are out. Look at this. Look at this place! Brilliant goal. Flares going off over there. It's 2-0 Hammarby! So it's 2-0 to Hammarby at half-time. They have dominated the game, and to be honest, the fans have been absolutely incredible. The atmosphere has been something that I haven't seen in a while. Not something that you see often in the UK or even many other places in Europe. It's been absolutely incredible. So second half, it's just become half time. Gonna get a beer. Why if I can not? I don't think I can go through there because that's a bar. And yeah, see you at second half. I've got my point. Second half has begun. Hammarby 2-0 up against Malmo. And yeah, chinny chin lads. To all the people in the UK right now who can't drink in the stands, chinny chin. Malmo scored off the back of a Hammarby offside. Once again.
There is clearly a big rivalry here, and for many different reasons, from club legends to politics and even success. There is no one cause for this rivalry, making it a very unique fixture in the football calendar.
Söderort kommer alltid vara vår. För ni har inga fans och ni har inget hem. Så kom aldrig till Bayernland igen.